Now let the fun begin. Let's start animating. First, I need to introduce a concept in After Effects called track matte. Basically, it's the ability to use one layer to determine the margin or the boundary of the layer below it. So let me first demonstrate how that works. We can just click on this icon here in the project panel to create a new composition. I'm gonna name it test for demonstration purposes. And then let's type in something. And then let's add a rectangle on top. Go to the layer below, click on this track matte icon here, and put alpha map. So basically, this way, I can use the first layer, the boundary of the first layer, to determine where the layer below it is going to be visible. If I move the first layer, you can see when the layer below it goes outside of the box, it becomes invisible. So this way, if we were to animate the second layer, and then it can go from the bottom to the top, once it goes past that invisible box, it's going to appear on the screen. Now let's go back to the main composition to start animating this Toronto icon. We're going to need that track map concept, and we're going to use that to animate most of the elements in this icon here. First, what I want to do is I want to animate this bottom pole to slide in from the bottom. Click on the shortcut P. If you only have one position, just right click, click separate dimensions, and then you can access both X and Y positions separately. First, what I want to do is I want to set a keyframe at 0 seconds for the Y position, and then go forward 15 frames. Use a shortcut. Command Shift right arrow to go for 10 frames, and then Command right arrow to go 1 frame each time. So I'm going to click 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 frames. I want to move this final position to the 15th frame, and then go back to 0 seconds, drag the Y position down. You can see the pole start to go down. So I want it to start from there and then show up once it go past the circle. In that case, we're going to need track matte. So what I want to do is want to click on this rectangle tool, just draw a rectangle mask, and then click on this bottom pole, go to track matte. If you don't have track matte in your toolbar here, you just go to the bottom left corner here, click on this expand or collapse, click on that, and then the track matte is going to show up. Click on bottom pole, use alpha matte, and let's see what happens. Let's preview it. So there's a problem now. Right now, the pole is showing up where the layer of this rectangle is, but I want to reverse it. So what I need to do is I need to choose alpha inverted matte. So it's going to invert the mask. Now you can see it disappear within that rectangle. And then when I scrub through the timeline, it's going to show up where there's no rectangle. So this is what I need. I want it to animate in. Let's zoom in. Slightly adjust the position so that there's no gap between the pole and the circle. That's the animation I want. However, it's pretty boring because there's no energy to this animation. What I need to do is, first of all, I want to add in a overshoot to this Y position, which means before it settles in place, I want it to go over a few pixels and then comes back down. So from the 15th frame, go back maybe like 5 frames. Here at the 10th frame, I'm going to add some overshoot. So this is the overshoot. Let's try 530. You can see the value here from at 0 seconds from 680 is gonna go up until 530 and then come back down to 540. So that's the animation we need. After that, what we need to do is right click, go to keyframe assistant, easy ease. Just instead of linear keyframes, we want the keyframes to change the speed. And if we drag these keyframes and go to this curve editor, we can see this is a curve of these three icons. Click on this to show full screen in this section here. So right now we're in the speed graph. In order to make it more energetic, I want to drag the speed of the speed graph. Right now you can see what it means is that at this 0 second mark, the speed of this element is 0 pixels per second. And then the speed goes up and then comes back down. So the steeper the curve, the higher the speed is. I want to drag this curve here to get a higher speed in order to get more energy. Just kind of drag it here. To have a curve like this. Now let's preview this. Click on N to change the preview range so that you only preview in this section. You see, that's the first pole animation. It looks good to me. Now I want to do this base animation, this section here, bottom base. Use shortcut to bring it to the top. Command-Shift right square bracket. It can bring the element all the way to the top. And then we want to animate the same way as this bottom pole. Click P to open the position property. Right-click, separate dimensions. And then we want to copy the keyframes of this pole. Command-C, copy. Go back to the 0 frames. Click on this layer, paste. Now, this element has the same animation as the first pole animation. You see? Now what I need to do is add in a layer as a track matte to cover where I don't want to see this bottom base. Click off the layer. If you don't click off the layer, you're going to make a mask on the layer. That's not what you want to do. What you want to do is to create a new layer with a new shape. So I want to go maybe over here, and I want to draw a rectangle in this area, just big enough to cover this bottom base. And then click on this, choose alpha inverted matte. Let's see the animation.